Hello and welcome to Emerald Financial's Small Caps Watch. My name is Samantha Frayden and today I'm joined by Apiam Animal Health's Managing Director, Dr. Chris Richards, to discuss what's been going on at the company and what lies ahead. Chris, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Sam. Great to join you and talk about Apiam.
Chris, with the pandemic spurring an increase in animal ownership and regional migration, Apiam has seen a period of sustained growth. Can you give us an update on Apiam's business since reporting your half-year results?
Yeah, well, since the half year, we've just continued to build on what we've put in place over the last few years with our accelerated growth strategy, which we reported at the first half. We've got a target to double our revenue by FY24, and we've been working hard and continue to be on track to be able to achieve this. We've been expanding our services and our operations into new regions and segments of the industry that we don't currently service. And we've currently got 70 veterinary clinic sites with over 1,000 staff, including 250 veterinarians, and we expect this to continue to grow rapidly, both in the short term, but also over the next few years. If you look at our H1 results, our revenue was up 22.7% to $75.1 million, and our gross profit was up 32.5% to $46.2 million. We reported a couple of weeks ago our March quarter revenue year to date, and again, that's continued to grow. It was up 26%, and our gross profit year to date was up 36%. And this is on the back of a strong Q3 and the contribution that the acquisitions have made over the last 12 months.
Those are some great results, Chris. What have been the primary drivers of the increase in your revenue and gross profit?
Yeah, our main driver has been in our mixed animal clinics and companion animal clinics. So there's certainly an increased companion animal ownership as a result of the pandemic or during the pandemic, and that's continued on over the last 6 to 12 months. We've seen uptake of our Best Mates program, which is a subscription program, a wellness program in our companion animal businesses. We've now got near on 7,000 Best Mates members. In our Pro Dairy business, which is, again, another subscription program for our dairy clients, in the first half of this year, we had 75% growth in that business compared to the prior comparative year. And we've now got 15% of the Australian dairy herd that's on that program, and it continues to grow strongly. The other driver that's really happening is in the equine industry. The equine industry itself is thriving at the moment, and we sort of saw some early indications of this prior to the Scenic Rim acquisition that we made last year. So this continues to be a buoyant industry on the back of strong valuations in racehorses and other performance horses, as well as growth in the breeding industry. The rainfall and good seasons that we've seen over the last couple of years is also driving increased ownership in the pleasure horse sector. And of course, the acquisitions that we've made in the last 12 months, they've also been a driver to our revenue growth. We've been able to integrate these early, and they continue to grow very strongly.
Chris, you mentioned those new acquisitions. Can you talk us through some of the organic initiatives Apiam has introduced to new clinics coming into the network?
Yeah, so when we acquire a clinic, one of the main reasons that they want to be part of Apiam is that really they've been growing very quickly, and there's been several stresses in that business around trying to manage that growth. And one is that there's a lot of compliance and other things that are required these days, and it's really taking vets away from being vets. So having access to our back end support systems to enable growth of their veterinary services by freeing up experienced vets so they can go and do the veterinary work that certainly there's a significant amount out there that there's a great opportunity with. So really, what we're doing with that support is enabling further organic growth in these clinics. Clinics have also had difficulty in recruiting vets. There's currently a vet shortage, but the systems we have in place and the resources has really been able to enhance recruitment to meet the growth needs of some of these clinics. The other area that we've been able to apply are initiatives to improve work-life balance in rural practice. Vets not only work during the normal business hours, but they're on call after hours, and they work weekends as well. And so, we've got systems that have been able to meet some of the needs around reducing the requirements on vets after hours. Now, tele triage services are really good example of this, where all the calls that come in after hours get diverted to a tele-triage nursing service, experienced vet nurses, and they take those calls and they reduce the number of calls that need to be answered by a vet by over 70%. So this is really important when you look at a lot of those calls that have come in are just around changing appointment bookings, or can be from security companies because alarms are going off. So having that is adding some real value and enabling our vets to be really being able to focus on those emergency cases that come in. The other organic initiative that we put straight into the clinics are our best mates in our Pro Dairy program, and certainly putting those service programs in there as well as the marketing support really enables us to drive these services in these new acquisition clinics.
Your Best Mates program has had a really strong uptake, and many of your clinics focus on small animals. With that in mind, how do you see the companion animal market playing out in the aftermath of the pandemic?
Well, pets are now really part of the household. There's a very close attachment between people and their pets, and those pets became a very important part of the support mechanism for people during the pandemic when they were in lockdown. So, as a result of that, they're really a part of the family, and we're seeing higher healthcare standards that are demanded by pet owners, and so these are things that we'd normally do in the human world. So we're seeing routine dental exams happening and routine blood tests, to make sure that we're picking up any early signs of disease. And we're expecting this to continue through the life cycle of the animal. The other thing that's happening in the companion animal market is that, and I indicated before around our Best Mates program, which is a wellness program, and because that provides unlimited visits, again, it feeds in very well to providing those higher healthcare standards. So we're expecting that to continue to grow as well. The other thing that's also coming through in the industry is, not many people would be aware that, prior to the pandemic, that 1 in 5 dogs have some sort of mental development or mental health issue, and it's only been through the pandemic where those dogs have now spent more time with their owners. They haven't been able to socialise necessarily as much as what they normally would have previously with other dogs and other people. And it's only since people have started to go back to work that we're seeing separation anxiety. And those dogs that are unable to cope and develop, are showing some severe effects that now that's creating a whole awareness around behavioural issues in the pet care sector, and the expansion of services in that animal behaviour side. The other area that's playing out is, as I sort of alluded to, is that we're starting to follow a lot of the human health trends. Where people are paying for complex surgeries on their animals to extend their life and to provide them a more comfortable life. And we're seeing services such as palliative care and rehabilitation grow in the veterinary sector. That's
so good to hear. Can you talk us through any regions or sectors you'll be targeting as part of the pathway to doubling your revenue within 2 years?
Yeah, well, the regional areas are thriving, and population growth has exploded as people have moved out of the capital cities and into the regional areas. So we're certainly targeting those regions, and we're in discussions with a number of clinics in those regions, in those growth corridors, and in large regional cities that are showing the growth and are expected to continue to grow. We also get approached, as I said, every week really by clinics, private clinics, who really want some assistance in assisting them to grow the business, but also taking away some of these stresses that have come into the vet clinics, as a result of the pandemic and the fast growth. So, vets want to be vets, and they want companies like ours to be able to handle all the non-veterinary stuff like the admin and marketing and payroll. So, they also want to develop service programs. They know there's some great things that they can do for their clients, and they just need somebody to assist them who has the resources to be able to develop these, as well as being able to do things that they have struggled to do, such as recruitment and adopting some of the new technologies that are available for the industry. So, we'll be certainly continuing to target, those regional areas. I think the other thing, that we'll be doing is really looking at some of the things that have been done by overseas operators. And, we had a group in the US a few weeks ago looking at what they're doing. And certainly when it comes to efficiencies in clinics and improving relationships and communications with our clients, there's some things that we can really do there on the technology side. We'll also continue, we're going to continue to grow our equine segment, continue to grow our hub and spoke model. We've acquired two, large specialist and referral centres for the equine industry in the last 12 months, one in Queensland and one in New South Wales, and we'll continue to expand that across the country where our other clinics can refer into these specialist centres. And the other real driver for us is going to be around vaccines in production animals. So as the industries move from antibiotics to more sustainable farming systems, we'll continue to develop vaccines in our vaccine facility that we acquired 2 years ago. And in the last 2 years, we've actually brought 3 new products to market for the beef industry. So we'll continue to expand that.
Chris, thank you for your insight today into what is a really exciting time at Apiam for shareholders, clients, and of course, the animals you care for. We look forward to speaking to you again soon.
No, thanks. It's been great to join you today and look forward to seeing you again.